Do you want me to open the door thing? Hi. Am I going now? Just tell me action.
Action.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dave Persue, and this is my studio. Want to come inside? Let's go. This is sort of the front office of my studio. I call my studio Studio 111. This front room I don't really use other than just to sort of display some of my art and some of my friends' art, sort of a passage into my workspace, my main workspace. But here, you know, you'll find some old photos of walls I've painted, old pictures of me on canvases, some of my favorite artifacts, my records from when I was a kid, things that inspired me in my graphic design. I'm a big New Order fan, so that's a good question. I'm going to say New Order. Yeah. Just because probably when I grew up, you know, and was introduced to them, you know, I knew New Order first before Joy Division. There's a lot of collaborations in here with Bunny Kitty and different brands and wet paint and different people and my old skateboards from the 90s. This is a this is an interesting piece. This is a skateboard I designed for Chad Muska that never saw the light of day. It was for Toy Machine. This was going to be his pro model for Toy Machine, but I think a lot of people, when they know the story of Chad Muska and Toy Machine, is that he left Toy Machine on the eve of him turning pro for the company, actually at their video premiere. And so this was the graphic I did for him. And I want to say maybe it's the only one in existence.
The one that never was.
The one that never was. And so I designed a lot of skateboards in the 90s, and from time to time I release a skateboard with a skateboard company by the name of Arts and Rec here in San Diego. Do collaborations in the skate world still, so you know I love skateboarding and it's a big part of my history. Let's go this way. Speaking of more, I have a lot of stuff. You know, I've been carrying my archive with me for decades, and the archive just seems to expand because I'm constantly producing and working in the arts and product design and development. You can see, like, displayed on this these racks are some of the toys I've done in the past, some of the product I've made with prints and stuffed animals. My little stuffed Rilla, oh yeah. Some of the books I've written, Bunny Kitty books, the origins of Bunny Kitty in the City. So this is where it sort of opens up more. There's a lot of supplies, my art supplies, a lot of spray paint, as you can see, all the way up the wall. And inside these cases is my art tool of choice, spray paint. This is where I paint over here from time to time when I get the opportunity. You can see the Bunny Kitty piece here. This stencil I hand cut. This was actually for Billy Joe Armstrong's 62 Ford Falcon. I did a painting on his car. So like, this is the top graphic for that. So I love that piece. I'm a big Green Day fan. I've got a few little, you know, glimpses of the past. This is a Ralph Steadman inspired graphic that I drew for Peter Line back in the Forum days. I guess he's still on Forum. He owns it now. But at the time, I don't think he did. Or maybe he did. Maybe I just don't know. But that's, I did a lot of snowboard graphics. One of my favorite graphics on the skateboard was with Tyrone Olsen, one of my favorite skaters. This was for Evil back in '94. This one's titled Smush Kitty. I think a lot of my work has cats in it I don't know. You know, it's kind of funny, you know, like I think the first really prominent piece that I had done, that picture of me standing with the hair, I still had hair, is the blue bunny. That's like one of my first like really intricate pieces done with spray paint that I was super proud of at the time. It was like '91. And so it was a bunny. I don't know, weird. Yeah, hooked. But I've got some old tees from back in the day. This logo I designed for DC back in, I don't know, '93 or '92. This right here is a relic. This is my first t-shirt graphic I did for 8 Ball. And that's the B-boy. This was a very popular T-shirt at the time. So not too many in existence.
Was there a strong learning curve trying to do vectors and like get stuff set up for print?
Oh, Ken Block fired me. I know how to draw. Why would I work on a computer?
Right.
You know, because nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
You know, one day I just showed up to work and, you know, I had to find a new job.
Put your hands in the corner.
Well, you know what it did was it pushed me to get my shit together. You know, like if I'm going to be given this opportunity to work in this industry and with these amazing people, learn the tools of the trade. I was unemployed for about 4 hours before I got picked up at Evil Skateboards. And from that point, I taught myself how to use a computer. And then it was only a matter of like a year and a half or two that Ken called me up at Evil and says, hey, do you want to come back and, you know, like work with Ali Asha, like and do drawers with Ali and dub with Ali? And I said, yeah. So I went back and we killed it. Some old wet paint signs. This is a nice one. This is a stash. This is probably one of the first pieces I painted. A little wet pussy. You know, a little double entendre. You know? Yeah, little and a big wet pussy. I'm a girl dad. No. Some old pieces that I've kept in my collection that I'm glad to have. I've got a lot of stuff over here. Oh, the shoes. These 7-footer shoes that I developed with the guys over at Vox back in the day. These are really fun pieces. This was it. This was the end of my career in skateboarding. Or this is when I'm still in skateboarding, and I always will be, I hope. But this is when I stepped away from the industry and working for other people. That forced me to really go for Bunny Kitty and go for my own work. And it's probably the best thing that happened for me. It was really hard. It took 10 years to dig myself out of that hole. And I moved to New York, which led to Bunny Kitty being published, which led to the discovery of wet paint and to the world, you know. I've managed to keep a lot of my old catalogs from back in the day. You could see very first Osiris catalog we designed. I want to say I laid this up. Cork.
Nice.
Because we were working on PCs back then. We weren't working on Apples. The guy who owned Tony Magnuson didn't believe in Apple. He forced us to work. He forced us to work on PCs, and it sucked because everybody was on Apples, and we were like, we want to work on Apples. Yeah, you know, and so we worked on Corel Draw and all that stuff. But these are all like, I mean, these are all relics. These are all like catalogs that don't exist anymore of years gone by. You know, like, you know, Jerry Sue on the cover of the Osiris, man. You know, really cool stuff. These are all Plan B. These are the Plan B. When I got involved with Danny and Colin, you know, this old stuff. Line sheets for days. You know, it's kind of funny. A lot of this stuff, like, there's a secondary market for it. They're nostalgic for the times, you know. I mean, there was a time that I was like in the industry. I had jumped around so much to different brands. Around all that time, all this stuff was coming out into the shops, and between all of these brands, like, most of the stuff was mine, dude. Like, people would be wearing this Circa hat with these DC socks, or this t-shirt and this George t-shirt. It was crazy to see how much stuff I had put out there between these years, and that people loved it, you know. So it was really, you know, a great time in skateboarding, and it left its mark, and I'm stoked to be a part of that history.
You got anything that's coming out by the time this drops? February? That like hasn't been released yet? Some of your newer stuff or no?
Yeah, I've got a hat coming out with Melon, which is this hat company I wear, and I've got a pro hat coming out with them. This drops in spring. The pattern's a little bit different. The pattern's, we zoomed up on it more, so it's not so jumbled up or messy looking. So we made it really clean, and there's a little melon graffiti piece that I put in there. I'm stoked on it. I can't wait for this to drop. They make beautiful hats.
Yeah, they're like premium top shelf when it
Yeah,
comes to like
man.
footwear nowadays.
Yeah, so stoked on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for people to see it or have an opportunity to get it. If I were to show you all the things that I have in this building, it would probably take a decade or two. So I can't show all of it to you, but I'm glad to be able to share some of it. And maybe one day it'll end up in a collection or a place that will be able to show the entire archive. And hopefully that'll be sooner than later.
Sick.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.